If you're a service business or service business owner and you deal with clients where you're handling personal identifying information, but you also want to use AI and automation, then this video is for you. I understand with the rise of AI and automations and all the capabilities that are just springing up day after day, week after week, month after month, most people are going all in, as I think you should. However, you still have the element of privacy and security when it comes to working with other people's data. And I'm not seeing very many people consider that. They're just dumping everything and uploading everything into different LLMs and platforms and everything else of the sort, right? The challenge with that is most LLMs use data to model how they interact with other individuals. And so when you're submitting personal identifying information, also PII, that model is training itself off of other people's data. And in some industries, that may not be a big thing, but in other industries, that is a big, major priority. So in this video, I'm going to show you what you can do to extract personal identifying information out of your contracts, out of your agreements before connecting or integrating, or I should say, technically, integrating AI and automation after that information is extracted so that you are not feeding personal identifying information into like a chat GPT or a Claude or any other LLM without that other person's permission. And where this came from, this video, is that with me being a licensed real estate agent, I was looking for a solution that allowed me to take out or block or not even engage my clients or people I want to work with, any of their PII details, right? And I couldn't find anything. So I'm like, well, how hard could it be? All this technology, all this AI, all this automation, there has to be something out there that will extract this. Not as simple as I thought it was going to be. Now, there are companies and startups that are focused on this, but I wasn't able to find a solution to where I could just get pricing or understand how it worked without having to fill out a form for a demo or schedule a call for like an hour webinar. And I'm here to solve a problem. I'm not here to go through a whole process. Like, that's going to waste time. And so, like most things in life, if you can't find an answer, you have to go and create your own. And so that's what I did. And so in my own, need for that type of solution to extract PII, I found my own solution. And now we incorporated into my automation agency, GladePath, so that we can do that for other service operators, other service business owners. And if you're looking to do the same or have it done for you, I want to just point out a few things that you should consider when looking or considering integrating your contracts, your agreements with AI or automation workflows. So let's go ahead and jump into that right now. Now, first things first, we're going to start with these two simple examples so you can kind of see what I'm saying. I know you're going to say, well, Marcus, if we're dealing with contracts with, PII, personally identifying information, they're not going to be these simple ass documents that you're using. And I got that. I'm with you. But what I wanted to show you was something that didn't have a lot of text so that you can actually see it. And then we can get into something a little more involved. So there's less words for this so you can recognize it. And then when we get into the more involved example, which is probably going to be, which we're going to use a 1-to-4 for resale contract, real estate contract here in Texas. That's a little more involved and that's going to have a lot more words. So I want to isolate what your eyes look at, what you see, just so it's a little bit easier. So what we have here is kind of like a test inquiry, right? From Tester Timmy there. And then we also have Timmy Tester invoice here, right? And so these are typically going to be company aligned, right? So they're going to be more B2B, business to business versus business to consumer, B2C. But I still just wanted to show it in case it's also helpful because if you are working with individuals and you send an invoice to an individual, it may have their personal identifying information on there. So let's start here. You see the two documents. They're both in PDFs. If you can see here at the extension, just want to call that out. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have a folder that I've created. I've already built this automation, so I'm just showing you how it can be done. But essentially what you want to do is you want to separate the PII from the document before sending a clean or sanitized document to AI or an automation workflow. And the reason why you want to do that, I like to take that 1-2 step approach, because in most cases, when you have AI or an automation try to determine what to do with a document, it can do it from the details and the information within the document to know what to do, what not to do. It doesn't necessarily need someone's first name, last name, phone number, and email address to make a determination on what next step should be, right? So that's why I think this is really important to kind of separate the two. So that's your unlock right there. If you want to look at a PII extraction approach, separate it, right? And so let's go ahead and drop those two in there. So there we got Timmy Tester invoice. Those are pages. Those are not. There we go. There are the PDFs. I'm going to drop them in here. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to go ahead and drop something a little more interesting. And you have the tester doc. Actually, let's hold off. I want to show that to you first. Okay, so that's in there. Now, again, I've already set this up. And after waiting for a little bit, you see that the raw uploads here have been moved, right? And so what actually happened was we are having this automation that is working strictly in Google Workspaces or in your Google Drive or your Google platform. And so because it was PDFs, what we needed to do is we had to convert it into a document that Google understood, which is Google Docs. And so now that we know that that's happened, we're going to go check our clean documents. And here you have Tester Timmy and Timmy Tester, but I want you to see the difference. Now, remember when we saw it, we had the details in there, but we see now, hey, now it's dear person's name because it's extracted the actual personal information. And we go back and look at the document that was here, dear John Smith, dear person's name. Thank you for your inquiry. Please contact me at email. We had the email here. You see that the email has been stripped. Phone, same thing, right? Phone number, address, etc. Best regards, Tester Timmy. I don't know why I chose that name, but it just sounds cool out loud. No, it doesn't. And as you see, that's all been stripped out of the inquiry, right? Now let's go back to, take a look at the invoice. Company name, email address was here. So we look at the invoice here, we had the email address. Now, obviously, as you see that this document did not keep the formatting, of the PDF. That is fine for this use case, right? Because in most cases, we just need the data. We want the data. We can reconstruct it whenever we put it to the destination or wherever we want that information to go to. So with it being formatted like this, that's perfectly okay because LLMs, AI, automations can all read the text, right? So street address there. And we see we had the address here, any town, state, and zip. And so we have extracted the personal information from these documents. Now what we can do, what's able to happen is that we can process this document or process this information based on what we need so that we can have the AI or LLM do what it needs to do to still get us the same result without putting personal information at jeopardy. So that was a simple example. Now let's go to something a little more involved. Now we're going to move these, move this, and here you have a contract. Now don't be alarmed. I'm not a hypocrite. This is made up information. I did not use someone's personal identifying information to prove a do not use personal identifying information example video, okay? This is made up. This is not real. I will show you here, okay? This is Claude AI, if you are not familiar with it. I know most people are more familiar with ChatGPT, but this is Claude. Claude has created this information. And as you can see here, it says, go ahead and upload your PDF template. I uploaded an empty. I don't think you can really see that. I uploaded an empty 1-to-4 family residential contract from Trek's website. This is an approved promulgated form, completely empty. And I included it, uploaded it here so that Claude could give me fictional information so that I can actually show this example. And at the very bottom, it has sample document note. This is a sample field contract created for workflow testing purposes. All information is fictional and de-identified. This document mirrors the actual Trek contract format with dates and deadlines embedded throughout the legal text, requiring intelligent parsing and extracting for automation workflows. Okay, so don't want you to look at this and be like, this hypocrite. It's made up information. Now, I did not necessarily use this. I did not download it, but I did take the information and I manually input it here. So as you see, Johnson Family Trust, Martinez Investment Group, Johnson Family Trust, Martinez Investment Group, Oakwood Estates, all made up. Okay, so I did input this manually. Now that we have that set and explained, let's go ahead and drop the tester doc, which is what this is. And the reason why I'm wanting to show this is because easy docs are easy, right? And you're probably saying, hey man, I deal with some complicated stuff. I'm not dealing with any Timmy tester invoices. So here we go. We have it in raw uploads. We'll give it just a second so that my script can recognize it to trigger the automation. And once the automation is complete, we see that the documents are wrapped. So let's go ahead and check converted. Perfect. So we do see that it's there. This is the 1-to-4 contract that's in there now. So now we'll wait for the automation again to start pulling out the personal identifying information. It'll start extracting that information as it did in the 2 previous samples. And I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. And as we see, that document has moved. It means it's already done being cleaned. So let's take a look at that. And here you have the 1-to-4. Let's open that up. And as you see, right, person name agrees to buy from seller. Well, let's start from here. Person name agrees to sell and convey to person name, and person name agrees to buy from seller and the property defined below. So we see that the names have been pulled out. The address has been pulled out, right? Again, we were using fictional information, but I wanted to let you see the output, the final product. And all of the terms, all of the information that was included has been extracted. And as you see, person's name, but the entire contract is still intact here. Within 20 days of the title company receives, and I'm just pulling out a line just so you can see it because I know it's not in the original format, but again, a lot of times your AI, your LLM, your automation does not need formatted information because it's reading the text. So as long as the text is present and there, it's still helpful. As you see here, person's name, money. Let's read that. Documents are not delivered within the time required. Buyer may terminate this contract and the person's name money will be refunded to the buyer, right? And so this particular one is catching a little bit of the individual's names, or the company's names, as well as the titles involved. So buyer, seller as well. And as you see throughout the entire document, is the only reason why I keep going through here. You see person's name, person's name, person's name, all that has been removed throughout the document. And I wanted to scroll down here so that you could also see person's name attorney is, and that's where you sign at the bottom of the contract. If you're having an attorney, having a lawyer or attorney review the contract before signing, all of that is removed. Buyer only as person's name's agent. I just love it, right? So this is what I wanted to show you, because now that I have this information that's been removed, I personally feel more comfortable now sending this through to an automation that includes AI, or send it to an LLM, or using some type of LLM powered workflow, because now I'm not putting any of my clients, or you are not putting any of your clients' personal identifying information through a large language model that is meant to learn off of all the information that has been given, right? And, some people say, well, Marcus, it's not that big of a deal, but I like to look at it as, if the LLM has a setting that says, hey, do we have your permission to train our model off of your information? If that's a toggle, if that's an option, then it is something that should be considered. So I just wanted to show you that this can be done, also share with you how it could be done. Again, I make it a 1-2 step. I like to pre-process, get the PII extracted, get that out first, and then send it over to the automation workflow. Once that's already been done, then you can do some pretty cool things with your automation, with this particular automation that I have in place. It's pulling dates and deadlines and tasks out of this contract, and it's creating a to-do list in Google, as well as creating appointments and calendar invites that are date specific. So escrow, option periods, ending, et cetera, et cetera. That's being all done automated, but that's not really the point of this video. Just wanted to show you that this could be done. You can do it. And if you have the ability to do it and you have the patience to do it, I just wanted to give a little bit of insight on how it can be done, at least from a Google perspective. We dig it into Microsoft Teams next, and hope this is helpful. Hope this has brought some relief. If this has been a little bit of a stressful point for you in the advancement and progress of our technology today. So that's it in a nutshell. I wanted to break down the different phases, what you should consider, different ways to think about tackling or solving for this situation, so that you are able to put your client and your customer first, while also freeing up time for yourself, for your team members, and ultimately being able to scale and grow your business to work for you, not you work for it. So hope this was helpful. If it was, go ahead and give this video a like, click, subscribe, all that great good stuff. But if you want to be around like-minded individuals, we also have a free Skool community where you can join and be around other people who are learning about AI, specifically other service business owners and operators, called Lean Service Businesses. And we'll have a link in the description so you can go there, check that out. Or if you're also looking to work with someone, or you want someone to kind of help you out with the whole PII extraction as part of your automation workflow, then by all means, feel free to give myself and my team a shout. We'd love to work with you and see if we can make this easy for you. So with all that being said, here's to your momentum.